look on my page, Jim Kuckie's page, and the Kankakee Area Career Center page. Check it out. Every 2 to 3 years since 1972, Career Center has given the construction students a project, housing project. Build a house takes 2 to 3 years typically, but today the 3-year project is complete. We're going to talk to some of those involved. We're at 2083 Old Brick Road. So you might know the area. We're going to give you a little tour of the place, a little open house, if you will, towards the end. So be sure to stay tuned for that.
So this project's been going on now for quite a while, and what's really cool is we're going to be able to feature, before we're done with this stream, you're going to be able to see a tour of this custom-built house.
Custom built.
You're going to hear who built the house, how many helping hands were involved in it, what it takes to create a project like this. And then also what I thought was really interesting is we have some people behind the cameras, and if you tune into the Kankakee Area Career Center live stream, you'll see a little bit more behind the scenes than what our cameras are going to do this time.
You like that behind the scenes stuff, don't you?
And you'll hear from, we got a gentleman named Marty Worby who's been in business now for almost 40 years.
Marty Worby in the house tonight.
And that is a result of what comes out of programs just like this. Actually, specifically this program he was a part of.
He was.
All the way back in when he was in school.
Back in the day. Marty was a part of the Career Center. I was a part of the Career Center. In fact, I took part in one of these projects back in the day, back when I was in high school in 93, 94. I took construction class with Umphrey. We're going to talk to him and some more today. But we have for you once again, it's not even his first time on this show. In fact, this is our first repeat guest. Our first repeat guest. He liked the show, and it just wasn't enough information out of the Career Center, so we had to get something on location. We got something big time happening today. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show for the second time, the director of Kankakee Area Career Center. Here he is once again, Matt Kelly.
Thank you,
Well, hey, welcome.
Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking. So it's a big day.
It is big.
Let's talk about what's going on and all the work that took place in completing this project.
Well, you're going to get ready to see about 2,200 square feet of awesomeness that students had an opportunity to create with their own hands with the guidance of our construction technology teachers.
Yeah, we're going to go inside today and give you guys a really good look. We've got an open house coming up this weekend, right? Let's talk about that before Jim takes over.
Saturday and Sunday, it'll be open house through Speckman Realty. Cindy Olson Purdy is the lead realtor, and we're really excited to partner with her and her team to get this on the market and get it sold.
Yeah, and this is a project house that the future of Kankakee County is going to bring to you. The work that has been put into this house, some of these kids are going to go on to their own businesses down the road, and we're going to talk about that later today too.
Yes.
Take over, Jim.
So we got a couple new live viewers that are on the stream, so I want to welcome the new live viewers. You're going to want to watch the replay of this stream if you missed the beginning to really get your head around what this is covering in the capacity of. This is our second time interviewing here with Matt Kelly. First time the Live and Mike and Jim show's committed to doing a follow-up.
Yeah.
And this has also been, too, not only to highlight the results of what the efforts are happening at the Kankakee Area Career Center, but then also, too, our viewers are telling us they want to know more. They want more people involved. So drop in the comments questions that you may have for this team here at the Kankakee Area Career Center. If you got somebody you know you want us to interview and highlight on the show, last week we did the mall, one of the highest viewing videos we've ever put out there.
Yeah. Awesome.
And then also subscribe to that YouTube channel that we put into the links. If you don't know about it, just search Live with Mike and Jim. Get this notifications for when you're subscribed to the channel. This will be uploaded to it no later than tomorrow.
All of our past videos are on YouTube. Take away your question.
So let's start it out here. What does it take to get a project like this together? Because obviously you're not out here swinging a hammer yourself.
No, they don't pay me to do that. We have two fantastic instructors, Mr. Umphrey and Mr. Enns, that come up with the plans, figure out where we're at. The Career Center purchases lots. We're here in Prairie Chase subdivision, and they have an opportunity. Then we start from the ground up. They come, they dig a hole. Probably have an opportunity to let them express a little bit on how things are constructed as far as the basement. But we have a basement with 9-foot walls. They pour the basement, or they get the basement set in place, they pour the floor, and then they start building.
Wow, kids really learn all the ins and outs at the Kankakee Area Career Center, right on site too, right on location there. Hands-on experience at Kankakee Area Career Center. It's an opportunity for a lot of kids out there who, if you're just getting to high school or your kids are getting to high school, it's an opportunity for them to learn something, to give them skills, and maybe expose them to something that could turn into a lifetime of what they end up doing with themselves. So construction is one opportunity they have. Let's talk about some other programs at the Career Center and what you offer for those who might not want to do construction.
One of our big programs is welding. They get in there, if they do 2 years, and most of our programs are looking to do a 2-year. It's that early college, it's that first step to get out there and to realize what post-secondary education is like and what the real world's like, and they're learning that, for example, right here.
What a great way to test out something without fully committing.
Sure, and you realize if you like it, you get to test drive that to see if you like it or not.
Yeah,
right.
We have nursing, we have cosmetology, we have drafting, computers, automotive, collision, firefighting, police, law enforcement. So there's a lot of opportunities out there just in under one roof that kids can come out there, and you guys are going to see some of the. This is just an example of one of the projects that we do at the Career Center.
Yeah, so you got to expose yourself to something, and if you don't like it, you can always change your mind, but it's most important just to get started down a road, and if you come to a fork in the road, you can always change directions, but at least get going and start at the Kankakee Area Career Center. Jeff, you got one more question before we bring up Mr. Umphrey in?
Well, I think, let's get them in, and I just want to highlight, too, I think that not only are people learning about, like, the construction and what it takes to build a project like this, but to have an open house and to be able to buy a lot and understand the economics around it.
The real deal.
What we always talk about is, how do we expose businesses and how they become successful? This is a great opportunity for someone to really understand the construction industry, and it's one of the biggest backbones of keeping the economy moving forward.
And you can do that while you're in high school. And you start getting that foundation here.
Build your foundation at the Career Center.
Well, let's bring on a couple of people we want to highlight. Let's fill this camera up with some awesome people. The first person that we're going to bring on up here is Jeff Umphrey. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to it.
Most of us had Jeff back in the day. Good to see you, Jeff.
Good to see you, man.
And Jeff, I never had the opportunity to be in the Kankakee Career Center construction field, but when I went to college, I actually did construction management for 1.5 years before I switched it up and went to business. And this man right here had the pleasure of teaching me a lot of cool things.
Definitely. I worked at both the Career Center and KCC. You got to be one of the KCC students, and the kids in our class, for example, if Mike would have stayed for 2 years and finished the program, then he had dual credit. So he has an opportunity to have dual credit. So you may not have taken that class at KCC if you would have came earlier. See, you waited too long.
What a huge benefit! It would have been cheaper to go to the Kankakee Area Career Center too, I'm sure.
So kids that come out to the Career Center, that you hear a lot of times, they're not college bound. Well, they're getting college credit from our class.
Wow.
So when they go on to the construction management program at KCC, they already have 3 hours of college credit that they don't have to take. So it helps in both ways. Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, what kind of work ethic do you try to teach your kids? Because a lot of this is work ethic. They're learning. There's no bad habits to correct because they're young enough to not have those bad habits. So what kind of good habits do you try to instill in your students when you're bringing them up along?
Well, Mr. Enns and I, we teach the real world scenarios.
Okay.
And you know more than anybody, Mike, that when you were in class, it was about 5 degrees outside, and we were outside still
in the cold.
In the cold, 5 degrees, putting up sheeting, whatever it was.
What must be done is what must be done.
And that's what employers are looking for. They're looking for somebody that's going to come to work and show up every day and do the things that they're asked to do. Not, I'm calling off because it's cold today, or I'm calling off because it's too hot today, or it's too nice.
Because I have a little cold.
Because I have a little sniffle. So, the real life experiences are what we're trying to get off with the kids.
Yeah, and you're definitely getting there with that. And what are some of the other challenges? It's a 3-year project, but you get to learn the fine detail. What are some other challenges that come along with a project like this when you have different groups of kids working on it?
Some of the challenges we have, 16, 17 schools that come. So they come all the way from Iroquois, Watsika, all the way up to Crete, out to Herscher, Bradley, Kankakee, Grant Park, Moments. So we have all the schools that are coming, and they all get here at different times. That's why it's had to be stretched into a 3-year program instead of a 2-year like you went to school, because all those schools come at different times. But one of the challenges that a lot of some kids come with a little bit of experience because some of those rural schools have shop classes, and they have some basic skills, and a lot of the traditional schools, like when you went to Bradley, they had a nice shop class. Well, that has gone away. Kankakee's shop class has gone away. So now when those kids come out to us as juniors and seniors, they don't, unless their family's involved in it, they don't have as much skill. So you've got a balancing act of those that have been around it a little bit and those that have never been around it at all.
Some catch on easier, some catch on faster, some take a little bit longer, but some learn with just hands-on, some can read it, and some got to do it before they learn it. Nonetheless, what do you got?
I think, I just want to say thanks for putting all of this together. I know how much hard work it is, and to have 17 different schools, different governing bodies to all come together to make something like this happen.
Yeah.
And to have you in charge of it, it just speaks volumes to Jeff's skills. But I don't want to just highlight Jeff. Let's bring in your partner in crime, Mr. Doug In.
Doug In.
Come on
Doug.
to this camera. We can fit us all in. Look,
all
hey,
in
thanks
here.
for coming
I'll
on,
make
too.
sure we're all in.
I wanted to bring Doug
Ins.
on, too, because you've been much a part of this as Jeff has.
Yeah.
And we touched on just the labor pool and people having a skill set that isn't what it used to be. You know, talk a little bit about, you know, how is that a challenge now for the construction industry and just programs like this?
Well, I guess I think that our program is a little unique from some of the other ones because we have, you know, in welding, I'd say welding, you're working on welding all the time. We're out here, we go through so many different trades that they get to try things from all the way from concrete work, shingling, siding, you know, electrical. So they get to try a lot of different things. Sometimes they find out stuff they don't like, which is still okay. That's important to find that out, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to do something. Some guys don't want to work out in the cold. Some guys
all of them do.
want to stay inside and do
Some
electric
will, most
work.
won't.
So I think it's great that they get to try so many different things.
Yeah, and it seems like to be a good skill set to have, maybe just a little handy dandy work to be able to change light bulbs or fixtures in your house if something were to happen.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah. Go ahead,
This
Mike.
is the 21st house that the Kankakee Area Career Center has helped build over there. 21st project house since 1972. So if your kids are in construction at Kankakee Area Career Center, this is what they're going to be working on, a project just like this. Jeff, do you know what's next for next year's kids yet?
We're actually going to be building down the street, and
Okay.
it'll be a simple ranch or similar type ranch that we have right here.
Yeah.
So it's right down the street, probably close to 2,000 square foot house again.
Yeah.
Full basement. You know, that's one thing that when we go downstairs and you take the tour, when you see the basement, it's unique. They're precast panels that, just like a commercial building, when you're going up 57, that you see that's going, you know, all these buildings are going up with cranes and so
Right.
forth. Well, our basements are precast, pre-insulated to the new energy code, and it's a unique thing for the kids to see and be
Nice.
a part of.
So next year's project already in the works right now. Now a lot of these kids are going to go on to have their own businesses. They're going to learn some skills. They're going to become so good at servicing the way they are. They're going to have a business of their own. We're going to bring in a small business owner in town here. His name's Marty Worby. Marty's Roofing is called. Let's bring Marty in right now.
Come on, bring it on in.
That's good. We're keeping on. So here's Marty.
Let's throw him on in. Marty, thanks for coming on.
Marty was actually a student of Career Center back in the day. Well, you were an electrician back then, took the electricity class, but that did kind of help some. Still, kind of worked its way in.
You work on the little, you know, radios and everything else as far as working through the microscope.
Okay, so let's talk about your Career Center experience and how that led into what you're doing now.
Well, I feel like it definitely gave me the confidence to be able to work with my hands and to learn a trade.
Okay.
And even though I didn't choose that after high school and I ended up going into the roofing profession,
Yeah.
it still gave me the confidence that, hey, you know what, I can do this. You know,
Okay.
and I had no problems as far as, you know, learning a new profession.
Now, did you go right into business right after high school, or what happened after high school, and how'd that
No,
take place?
actually, I was a union roofer from 1979 until 1990.
Yeah.
Doing large commercial roofs. I had done Bradley High School, Kankakee High School, you name it, around
Okay.
this area. Also worked up in the Chicagoland area on
Experience is the best teacher.
Downtown. Opened up my own company in 1990, and I've been
Doing it ever
working in
since.
commercial and residential roofer.
Okay, and part of that foundation was started at the Career Center, so that's a plus, and experience is the best teacher in 1990, so he's doing something right, been around since then. Jeff, one more thing you want to say before we take a tour of the house? A message to the kids who might be aspiring to come to Career Center next year, haven't quite made their minds up.
Yeah, we
Perhaps.
typically call it the words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. This class is, like Mr. Inns and I were talking about earlier, it's a real world class. It's real life. You're actually going out and you're putting a product together that's going to be sold. This one's listed at $299,000.
So it's not cheaper just because it was built by kids. It's the real deal.
It's not just a craft project where you take home to mom and dad, and
No.
if it's leaning to the left or to the right, mom and dad put their arm around you and say, "Oh, what a great job, Johnny." Well, that's not us. We're going to tell you that's not any good, or
We don't
if
do
it's good. So, you know, back like when your project, when you were I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now he tells me. Mr. Renz, you want to say something?
I just think we probably took close to 150, 200 kids that went all into making this house. Some of them aren't here anymore. They've graduated, but they should all feel proud to be able to drive past here, show their kids, their grandkids. They should be here for a long time.
Yeah.
And Marty,
It's
if
a
you can
nice
go back to
quality
talking to
house.
yourself when you were 18 years old, what would you tell your 18-year-old self right now?
Well, I would tell myself that, you know, even though it's been a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication and everything, it is all well worth it.
When you're on your own and you have
Put
the
in the
freedom
work.
working for yourself,
you have to put in the hours. You have to have the dedication, and be able to relate to people, and and the work ethic behind
yeah.
it.
Talking to people makes things happen. Jim, one more thing from you.
Yeah. It just sounds like everything that you want your children to grow up with, the work ethic, getting better by doing things. You can only do it by doing them. This provides a lot more than just what you're about to tour here in this video. So I just want to make that note. And then also, any of your live stream viewers that are on here right now, do us a favor. If you know a parent or a child that's been to the Kankakee Area Career Center,
or that's getting ready to start high school,
tag them on this video. Let this be a testimony of what the Kankakee Area Career Center can do. Fast forward 40 years from now when you have your own business because of what comes of this program. And then let's see this awesome place. We'll grab the cameras. We'll talk it out as we're walking and showing. You guys can kind of be the commentary and show off some of the hard work that's...
Who's going to give the commentary?
That camera, Mike, the couple names I'm going to throw out there that have been successful through the program. Steve Magruder is a union BA for electrical union. He's been doing it for a long time and been involved in vocational education. And all of his brothers also. Tony Harms is one of my past students, or our past students years ago, owns a business, is now building Dollar Generals from Minnesota to Missouri.
Yes.
Sean Ludke is an engineer for the county. Nick Sadoff is working for PSI. There's several guys at PSI construction in town that have come through the Career Center. So there's a lot of guys that are very successful, making a good wage and good money and having a successful life, like Mr. Kuckie's brother, that have come through this program, and that's what it's about. If they put forth, like Marty said, the hard work and the work ethic, you'll be successful. If you're coming out just to play, this isn't the class.
No.
But if you're coming out to learn something and want to participate, it's a great opportunity.
Umphrey doesn't play. Good stuff. Who's going to give the tour of the house here? Who wants to give the tour? Like, do all the talking?
We'll walk in there. We'll
Come on,
all
I'll
do it
talk.
together.
Oh, Umphrey's going to talk? Okay. Oh, boy. Umphrey's giving the tour. Here we go.
He loves hearing his own voice, so maybe all these viewers will like it too.
All right, as you first walk in, like I say, it's about a 2,200 square foot home.
Okay.
Hardwood floors, some unique trim that the kids put up this year. So just a standard colonial trim with the 45, it's more like a mission style trim. We vault ceilings, ceiling fans in several of the rooms. This one is a formal living room. Behind it, off the entryway, is a formal dining room. And you want to go down the kitchen next, Mike?
Yep, show us the whole thing.
Before you get laundry room, as you go out to the garage, nice huge laundry room.
Oh, boy. Huge laundry room for you. Yeah, there's a laundry room right here, and that takes you right out into the garage. Two-car garage here. Kids. What do you like most about being in construction class here? What do you guys learn?
Logic work.
Logic work.
Logic work.
I can
Commons?
believe that.
I love it. Thanks, guys. You guys did great work.
Oh boy.
Nice tile floor kitchen, little eating nook area.
Eating nook area.
You've got granite tops, and with all the design stuff on the TV with the shiplap and type stuff, we've got a shiplap back of the cabinet so guys touch their feet, and whatever protects the cabinet back. Stainless steel cabinets or stainless steel appliances, the fingerprintless appliances.
This is exactly what Neumann needs for his cooking show right here. You look good behind that counter, Mike.
And we're on to something now. The seed's been planted.
Yeah. Again, everything you see, obviously the granite, we don't do the granite work, but we have a guy come in and work with the guys on the granite. Some of our past students have worked with him over the summertime. All the kids, they lay all the tile work, they lay the wood, they hang the cabinets, do the crown molding. The feature that I like probably the best in the house.
Thanks, Patricia.
Yeah, light switch in there, please. When you turn, Mike, and you go to the living room,
nice.
family room, instead of putting a fireplace in this year, we went with a wood wall.
Oh, wow.
70-inch TV comes with the house. 70-incher comes with the house.
Okay, so if you buy this house, the 70-incher comes with it. So instead of the fireplace, you went for this one. Appreciate it.
Everything looks a little smaller on camera.
It's pre-wired where all the electrical's behind it, and also there's an HDMI cable that goes down and underneath into the glass cabinet, so it's already ready to go.
Yeah, beautiful setup. So now, do you guys leave this bare floor here for a customer to be able to pick what kind of other flooring they put in?
Carpet allowance, or if they wanted to extend the wood, then they could peel that last piece of wood up and they could extend the wood. But when there's so much hard surface, I'd recommend that they put carpet in, just because of the noise. If you go out to eat somewhere, you have a lot of hard surface, you can't hardly talk. So the echo factor, and it's going to be a big screen TV, so I'd recommend a.
What a huge advantage of purchasing a house right now like this.
Yep, you want to see?
Yeah, we can pick out
the counter here. It's a little party house.
Just get a little look out of the backyard too.
Oh yeah, we'll go out there too. All right, let's go see what else you got.
We'll come back to the basement real quick.
Yeah, look at the doors and the trim too. You can definitely see the amount of craftsmanship and detail that's been put into a project like this.
Yeah, the open house is taking place this weekend. You guys want to come take a closer look for yourself.
This one has a dual closet. We took the closet off the back wall and we moved it, so we gave more space in here, so you can have bunk beds, 2 boys, 2 girls. You have plenty of space for, a large family of 4.
Quick question.
Go ahead, Jim.
I was just going to ask someone, I might have missed it. How long did it take for this to build?
This is a 3-year project.
3 year. And now do the children, kids, the people involved, do they get say in the design of the project?
No.
Okay.
No.
And the reason I say that is that one year I had kids pick out some color just as a sampling of their ideas, and the goal is we have to sell this too.
Yeah.
Well, they came up with black and with deep purple. And
Sure, I could see where that could start to collide
Yeah,
some.
So, one year they picked out pink walls and it didn't sell for a long time. Went back in and painted them just an off-white that sold within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
Color does make a difference.
So the design, Mr. Renz and I talk about it, and this print is actually a design that we've modified a little bit for roof line, because originally it had a 10-12 roof on it, but we want to get it where they can walk on it, so it's easier.
Not as steep.
He and I can get up and move around and check on things and make sure they're doing things right, so we don't want to have to, up, down, get down, turn around, go back up, because somebody has a question, we can at least move around pretty quick.
Gotcha.
We got a couple of students if you guys are interested.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Maggie says to you, Jeff, hi. She says, how do you feel about a spa design and build out?
Oh, sweet.
Maggie says something on there. How do you feel about a spa design and build out? Well, I could tell you by the looks of all this, babe, they'd have no problem being able to design something that's sexy.
So 2 bedrooms here.
Definitely an elegant
Bigger closet.
look that you would want. Lil Belka, welcome to the stream. We're in a Kankakee Area Career Center house being built by the students.
Let's do it now.
And we're going to interview a couple students.
Oh boy.
If you didn't see the beginning of this stream, you guys want to check it all out. So here we go.
Let's start with you. What's your name and what made you start a career center?
I'm Brandon Cohen from Central Ohio. I came out to Career Center because I've always loved building things. I've always enjoyed construction.
What was one of the first things you ever started building in which you found your love for building things? What was the first you noticed you had a love for it?
Probably when I was a little kid when I had wooden blocks.
Just wooden blocks?
Yeah.
Built them and it just came to you? It just was a natural fit for you,
It
huh?
always was, yeah.
Okay, good
Heck
stuff.
yeah.
And it's just something you never stopped.
What's the best thing?
Best thing
Yeah.
that I've ever built?
Let's hear it.
What's the best thing here, Maurice? What's the
This
best
right
thing
here.
here?
This is actually you're at a peak right now, and your best days are ahead. But we're going to show it off. But what were some of the main parts you worked on in this house? Did you work on pretty much a little bit of everything, or was there one thing that you worked on more than others?
Pretty much everything except for the
Because you guys all work together as a team, and
Yeah.
it's all one project at a time.
Brandon's a second-year guy, so he was in here last year. We did a lot of the electric, a lot of the insulating, hanging drywall, right? And then obviously this year when we did the painting, trim doors and so forth, so he was part of that as well. Maurice and Steven are both juniors. It's their first year here getting involved with it, so they sort of see the end before they get to know what the beginning's like.
Okay, so you're back. So you're gonna be seniors next year then?
Yep.
Okay, so one more year of this then.
Yep.
Oh, well, good. Then you get to start the new project.
Yep.
Well, out of all that, you had all kinds of different opportunities at the Career Center. What made you choose construction?
I wanted to build. I wanted to do this is something I really like to do. And just to get paid to do something you like to do and love to do, it's not a job, it's something you love and you just get paid to do it.
So how did you find your love for building?
It's kind of runs in the family. My grandma owns our homes and my sisters are I can't even speak. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's all right.
Be natural, I know. This is his debut on Facebook Live,
Yeah.
but he's got a good smile, so he's good.
But building and seeing your results and seeing what you can do, it just makes me happy, makes other people happy.
When you look back at the finished work like this house,
Yeah.
you're like, wow, we actually did that.
Yeah.
And now 20 years from now, you can drive by this house still standing, the family's living in it, and you can say you helped build it. That is amazing.
Yeah.
What made you choose construction?
I chose construction because basically the same thing, because my entire family works in construction business, and I really like how you get to say that you did that, and you were part of that, and you worked as a team to do that.
So how old were you the first time you started building anything?
Maybe I was like about 9 or 10.
Okay, that was your first experience, and it's just something you never look back on, huh?
Yeah.
And now here you are, you're going to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So what'd you learn most this year?
I learned a lot about drywall, I learned a lot about painting, I learned a lot about cabinets, I learned a lot about how to code, put in doors.
Dang. And the list goes on and on.
So now you guys learn a lot of skills. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
It also makes us better as a person, better for the workforce. It's a free experience to get to know the trade, and so why would you not take advantage of the free experience?
So you're onto something with that. Aside from the trade skills themselves and what you guys are learning in construction, what would you say is one of the biggest takeaways that you've gotten or learned from working in a program like this?
Just to jump ahead. Like now I'm a few steps. I'm only a junior. I'm only 17 years old. So once I'm 18, I'm already kind of ready. I'm experienced more than others could be.
And this is something you can always do on the side. If you have a regular job, you can always do a side job for a friend or something. That can turn into something as well. Do you see yourself running your own business when you get done with all this one day, or do you even think that far into the future?
I'm not thinking that far into the future.
You're just something you can be good at. You can at least do your own housework. You don't got to pay somebody else to do some of this. But that's another benefit of doing this, is you don't got to pay anybody else to do work for you.
Yeah.
Well, what advice would you have to your friends that haven't, that maybe freshmen coming into high school who are just thinking about Career Center down the road? What advice would you have for them?
Of course, coming in, you're not going to know how to do it, what to do it, but if you're willing to learn and you want to try, then you're set.
That's awesome.
Learn something new. Always, the new skill's never going to hurt.
Hey, and the one thing I just want to say too, around like for you guys, is that Mike asked you if you're looking at getting into your own business, and it's okay if you're not thinking that far ahead. You hear the stories from Marty and everybody else that's been talking on our shows. Even myself and Mike, we've worked for other people for a long time before we jumped into that. So there's definitely nothing wrong with working with people. You get onto a crew with someone like Jeff, and you take and learn as much as you possibly can from the people that have been doing it for decades. And then when you feel comfortable, that's when you start thinking about going into your own business. So,
Mike, before you pull away on this, Veronica, she's also a junior from Kankakee, and over the 7 years I've been out here, she's probably one of the best kids working as a female that we've ever had. She gets right in there with Stephen and Maurice and goes after, does everything we ask. And so, ladies, also, you want to say anything about opportunity for?
I mean, being the only female in construction, it actually taught me a lot. And even though me being the only female and knowing that there's not a lot of opportunities I could do being in construction, but I actually gained a lot of experience being in construction. I've actually learned a lot, and I love construction.
So you're a female, you're not afraid to roll your sleeves up and get to work, So a lot of females would prefer to stay clean and not sweat. But you're not afraid to roll your sleeves up and go to work. So let's talk about your work ethic and where that came from.
I actually learned some of it from my dad, and I actually like it a lot. And it's just something I would like to continue.
What do you like about it? Just the challenge of it, or what stands out about it?
I actually like doing the challenge about it because I'm surrounded by a lot of guys, so being the only female is kind of like
Gotta be better a little bit.
You got something to prove a little bit because they expect you not to be as good, but then you show them all up and prove them all wrong, and now you're one of the standouts in the class.
Hey, congratulations.
Let's go look at this basement then.
And a shout out from one of the viewers, Randy Acone says, "Best class I ever took. The skills you learn in that class are useful in so many other industries as well."
Thank you, Randy.
Awesome. We also got a couple people here. Jill Worby Dickerson. Oh, gotcha.
There's the basement.
She says, "Congrats. Miss you too, Jill."
Oh boy. Wow.
Woo!
That's big. Woo! Wow. You got room for a pool table and a gym down here.
Pool table, gym,
wow.
ping pong table, bedroom,
Everything complete.
entertainment center, whatever you want to put down here.
So now the big difference in this from the houses I grew up in, the height of the ceilings is one of the biggest things I noticed walking down here.
It's nice and high.
Yeah, 9-foot basement walls, which is, gives you a lot of headroom. So if you finish this as the big, you got all your headroom. You're at 8 foot anyway. So you've got 9-foot basement walls. With the new energy code, you're supposed to have an R10 insulation on your basement walls all the way to the top of your concrete.
Wow.
Well, when guys pour regular basements, that outside edge that you see from the dirt to the siding is usually not insulated.
Correct.
So to do that, they'd have to drape down insulation over the top of the foundation wall, which is ugly. What are most homeowners going to do? They're going to take it off and throw it away anyway.
Yep.
So it's really defeat the purpose. And you can't have foam just on the outside because the ultraviolet rays would destroy the foam. So with these panels, it's built just like a bridge. Okay, there's concrete and rebar insulated behind that foam, metal studs just like a commercial building. The panels come in on a truck and they were put down with a crane, and they start about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and this one they were done by 2:30 and gone. There's no form oil, there's no all that,
So these walls were built without pouring concrete?
No, they're concrete.
Okay.
They're concrete on the other side of the foam.
Okay.
Every sleeve you see here is concrete and rebar, and then behind this is concrete as well.
Oh.
So the insulation goes all the way to the top of the
That was
foundation.
built to last right there.
Yeah, it sure was. Now I get it.
So, also they have sleeves. If somebody wants to finish the basement, there's sleeves in the walls so they can just run their Romex through it. It's already, sleeves for wiring.
So it sets it up to be a great finished basement, however somebody would want to do.
And it's a
Jeez, look at how huge this is.
For a 15-year warranty. They give a 15-year warranty. Superior Walls is the company that we use. This is our second one that we've done with them, and doing a fantastic job. So.
All right, well, we're coming up on a 30-minute thing, I think. So, any final words, Mr. Umphrey, for aspiring students looking to join construction, and then we'll go to Matt.
Well, I think that the biggest thing for me is that if you really want to have an opportunity, because, it doesn't matter if the economy's up or down, there's always a need for somebody to do maintenance in your home.
Yeah.
And it's the largest investment that you make, and why not be able to do it yourself? If you don't want to go into business, you can still do it yourself. But it creates a lot of opportunities, from electricians, to carpenters, to plumbers, to drywallers. There's so many different fields that relate to this program. It's just a great opportunity for kids, if they want to. If you're not interested, then it's not the right
You have to want to do it. And there's so many options at the Career Center. You're going to find something, but just give yourself that chance to expose yourself to something that could become a lifetime of financial gain.
And just real quick to Mr. Acone, who was one of my past students that had a comment that Mr. Kuckie said. He was one of those kids that took the opportunity and has used it to further his career in life. And so congratulations to him.
The two things that you've mentioned is options and opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two things that we offer, and kids can take it as far as they want. So we can provide the education for them, we can provide a skill set for them, but they have to want it, and we can provide that. So with that, we want to thank Mike and Jim for putting on this great event here and highlighting the Career Center House. There is an open house this weekend with Speckman Realty and Cindy Olson-Purdy. If you have an opportunity, stop by and take a look at the work firsthand.
What times this weekend are the best times to stop by?
It's 1 to 3 on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, good stuff. I'm going to post that, and we'll get the word out.
Good way to get her out of town and do something fun.
Thanks, guys.
We'll follow Mike up here. So, quick thing you guys know, my brother created a multi-million-dollar construction business through going through a program like this. And that's just one of the results, as you heard Marty and his story. You're hearing all these stories. So get out, do something, skill up, and don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Let's go ahead and get a highlight one more time outside. Here we go, here we go. You're gonna see behind me this house as I walk away from the front door.
In this project house, that house that's just been completed after 3
Hey
years.
Sophia, Matt Yeager, you guys wanna watch this stream? We're out here at the Kankakee Area Career Center Project House. I'll flip this around. You wanna listen in. Boom, that's the front. 2083 Old Brick Road, Bourbonnais. You see Mike Neumann walking over there. We'll get a look at all the construction that's happening in the garage. But you're gonna wanna check out the beginning of this video. You're gonna hear about a gentleman who's been in business now over 40 years that went through the Kankakee Area Career Center program. See Jeff Umphrey, the man of the hour, highlighting the 3-year project, what you're looking at here. This 3-year project is gonna have an open house this Saturday. You know, what we're talking about is a custom built home, but there's so much more behind it. And let's get a couple more words from the students.
Hey, there's a
You can take a picture of the master bathroom. You gotta
Master bathroom?
You gotta see the master
Oh,
bathroom.
well, I'm still going. So.
There we go. One last one. You guys stayed to the end here to catch this master bathroom. You know, that's one of the highlights of a new home.
I'm glad you just showed up because they were here.
You know, I want you to envision, we're going to show you the master bathroom. You could be watching this live stream in a bathroom like this.
Oh,
Look at that reaction.
oh my God, I love seeing those showers.
Get an outside look of this.
That's what you call a master
Holy
bedroom right
cow.
there. Got a little
Look at the tub area.
Walk-in closet.
There you go. Maggie, you said, do they got the skills to build out a spa? I tell you what,
brushing your teeth.
this is a pretty good way to showcase an awesome master bathroom. Awesome. Man, this has been great, guys. Get the back of his head. Share this stream. Share the stream. Log into YouTube. Tell them, Mike. Subscribe to YouTube. Turn on notifications. What else do you want my crowd to hear?
That's all we got. Just tune in next week. Oliver's Bar and Grill coming at you next Thursday around 10:30. Be on there.
Bang.